So thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk here today. I've really enjoyed some of the showcases that I've been able to attend, so thank you. Before I do go any further, I would like to just give a nod to all the cogs in this wheel, because I'm merely the voice, and actually there's a lot of other people that are working extremely hard behind the scenes to make this happen. You know, the OSP Healthcare, so our industry partners who have been fantastic in persevering with us and believing in this project from the start. My colleague Alec MacHenry, who's been with me throughout this and was part of the vision since the inception, and Rob Bevan, who I just want to nod to because he actually entered us into the Bevan Health Hack all those months ago, and put us out of our comfort zone. And of course, as you've mentioned, the absolutely important part that the Bevan Commission provide here in terms of the support that's around us to develop as individuals, but also to develop our projects. And I didn't realise Leighton was chairing this, so it's quite embarrassing that I was going to just say very nice things about him, but it really has been hugely helpful being connected with Leighton and having him as part of the executive sponsor team that's with us in the health board. His support has been invaluable and unwavering, and I'm sorry, Leighton, that I have to say that in front of you today, but everything that comes with you being part of this has been very, very helpful. And I do feel very privileged to work for such a supportive health board who clearly want to nurture creativity and innovation. And I think that's a really, inspiring place to be working. So thank you. Rationale for the project, which is an e-learning pain management project. We know that all the NICE guidelines out there, all the other guidelines out there are all suggesting that a biopsychosocial approach and a holistic approach to chronic pain needs to start as soon as possible. And we just don't have the infrastructure within our health boards and our NHS in Wales especially to do that in a way that's sustainable and in a way that makes sure that people get the service as quick as possible, which leads to incredibly long waiting lists for secondary care pain services. And you could argue that actually pain is everybody's business, and if we had a more robust system at community and primary level, then actually we might not need to see as many people coming through the doors of secondary care pain services. Just to put that into sort of context more locally, pre-COVID, we were running 21 pain management programs a year. So we were running 3 groups of 7 programs per year across the health board. And we were inviting about 250 people per run to those programs. And 50% of those people were just not attending. They were completely disengaging. So they'd agreed in the consultation to attend. They'd appeared to be very willing and very excited about it, but weren't coming. However, we were doing something right, because the retention to completion for those face-to-face programs were over 85%, which I think is phenomenal for a 10-week program. And for the cohort of people that we do work with, who are usually quite difficult to engage in, if you see lots of DNAs from other services and mental health services as well. So we were doing something right. And the outcomes for those people were really positive. We can see, increased self-esteem, self-efficacy, reductions in anxiety and improved mood, and just an overall improvement in their functionality and the quality of life. And of course, the education that they have about their chronic pain or persistent pain would mean that they're actually thinking about their medication differently, and we could see people wanting to reduce and come off a lot of their medication. So things did change when COVID hit, and we did transfer our pain management programme to a virtual PMP. And so we were running, and we have been since November, running 5 simultaneous virtual pain management programmes. And we're inviting about 160 the first run, because we were testing the waters. The second run we ran just over 170 people were invited, and the next run now in April we're inviting about 200 people to those virtual PMPs. Now again, very similar story, 50% of those invited don't attend. However, again, the retention to completion is really good. So we're seeing over 90% completion of all the virtual pain management programs, which is, again, a really good story. The similar positive outcomes from the problems that we're collecting is still telling us that what we're doing is helping people. What about the disengaged 50%? Really concerned about, what was happening to these people, and it could be quite easy actually to say they not attended, we discharged them, and that's operationally what happens. But digging a little bit deeper and probing into why people don't attend, these are sort of the common reasons that we were finding people noting and telling us. So for both, actually, mental health was a big part. So anxiety about coming to a group, whether that was virtual or face-to-face. In the community ones, there was an inability to commit to set time. Again, similar story for the virtual pain management program. So just not being able to commit to a time to attend something. Of course, in the community, transport's an issue. For both versions, they would have liked the option to, some people would have liked the option to conduct the pain management program in Welsh. And of course, we don't have sometimes a large enough cohort of people to offer that at any given time. So it either means them waiting a little bit longer, or we end up doing the work one-to-one individually with the people who, with the clinicians who speak Welsh. We had some unsupportive employers who wouldn't allow people time to attend. And of course, medication side effects, just feeling too drowsy, not being able to concentrate and all of those things. Quite a similar pattern with the virtual, being with other people, albeit virtual. Privacy and peace, because people are at home, so maybe not being able to engage for those reasons. And technological barriers, so not having the device or just having really unstable Wi-Fi. We aren't in the best Wi-Fi provisioned area in Hywel Dda, so that would make sense. Yes, we were thinking, what was the solution? And bearing in mind we were having these developments, all started pre-COVID, so a lot of what we were doing just wasn't online either. And we did think, well, why not make something more accessible? Why not make something, that somebody can actually attend anytime, anywhere, return to whenever they want to, download the information as they require, and that it's offered in both English and Welsh. And each module can be worked through, downloaded, so that sort of negates the Wi-Fi problem. And all the modules have a downloadable resource pack as well. Each module from session 2 to 10 have a relaxation and a movement component as part of it. So we encourage moving, and we encourage teaching of really calming down that central nervous system through employing relaxation techniques. And it's a fully biopsychosocial approach. Happened to my screen. There we go. So where we are so far, so we've had the pitch. We also were successful in the second pitch, but building this was, and I think we were just naive as well. We didn't realise how much this would cost, and we didn't really think about what we were embarking on until we met with our industry partner, who gave us the breakdown of how this would work and how much it would cost. And so in reality, the pitch monies actually paid for the build of 3 modules of 10. And so for a long time, OSP were chipping away at continuing to build some of the modules without any funding in place, or any hope of any funding in place. And we applied for some grants, but nothing came to fruition. So we decided then to stop and actually test the concept with the 3 out of 10 modules. So at least we had some data, preliminary data, to look at how this could be effective, and hopefully take it out to pitch for more monies to build the remaining. But then a very forward-thinking and interested finance director in the health board made contact in December last year, and made a very nice offer of actually paying for completion of this project. Could see the benefit and could see the potential that it had. And so we accepted gracefully that money, but that needed to be completed and spent by the end of financial year. So as you can imagine, the work rate to try and complete this has been quite phenomenal in the last 3 months.
Ffion,
so we are still...
Sorry, Ffion, we're at 10 minutes, but I'm happy to let it run for another 3 or 4.
Okay, thank you, thanks. So we're at stage 2, really. We're almost there to test functionality. Hopefully that will happen in April, and then we'll take it out to study, hopefully with the support of Accelerate as well, which will review and amend, complete the evaluation. So the potential benefits of this, well, of course, it's increased choice of intervention, flexibility, access, choice of language, high quality pain management intervention to access anytime, anywhere, and revisit. And for the pain service, you know, if we can reduce the amount of virtual or face-to-face PMPs that we have to deliver by 50%, for example, per annum, we would be clawing back over 300 hours of clinical time to be redeployed into other areas, for example, waiting lists in outpatients, which would mean reduced waiting times for people and, of course, not being able to travel. So no travelling time to run the groups. And that was, if you reduce that by 50%, we would have 135 hours to play with as well. So I've done a few calculations there, and it actually equates to about 12 weeks of full-time equivalent, whole-time equivalent per annum of clinical time. The benefits then for the health board, well, early intervention means better understanding of pain, less unnecessary investigation and intervention, and we know the cost to that, to both patients and health service. Increased capacity for secondary care to see patients in most need, and the potential income generator as well. Research opportunities and, of course, being able to demonstrate the implementation of a values-based approach, which absolutely aligns with that ethos. And the wider society, you know, early intervention for pain would mean less likely to develop unhelpful behaviours. Economic impact, hopefully people will be staying in work, reduce the burden of sort of childcare, concerns around, you know, family impact, but also building a community resilience and encouraging self-management from the start. And of course, not having to travel for intervention and appointments and so on would have an environmental impact as well. And the scalability of the project, you know, we've got the potential to deliver in other Welsh health boards, UK or wider afield. It's already been developed in 2 languages, and that's not to say that it can't expand. It could become an income generator to the health board and to reinvest in local services, and the potential then to replicate it for other long-term conditions. I do have a video, but